Roads that travel over continents, roads that span across Siberia, and roads so long it would take you months to travel across them. I'm counting down 15 of the longest roads in the world. Let's start with number 15, I-90. When it comes to epic road trips, few routes compare to the sheer scale of Interstate 90, or I-90 for short. Stretching across the United States, I-90 is more than just a road, it's a journey through the very heart of America, offering cross-sectional views of the country's landscapes, cultures, and histories. Starting in the city of Seattle, Washington, and ending in the streets of Boston, Massachusetts, I-90 spans an incredible 3,021 miles, making it the longest interstate highway in the U.S. So the adventure starts in Seattle, a city framed by the Pacific Ocean and the towering peaks of the Cascade Mountain Range, and from here, I-90 embarks on its eastward journey, cutting through dense forests and mountain ranges of the Pacific Northwest. As the road winds through the Snoqualmie Pass, drivers are treated to some stunning views, with the westbound lanes elevated 150 feet above Denny Creek on a viaduct, which is a marvel of engineering. And then, I-90 will reach the northeast, passing through the industrial heartlands of Ohio and Pennsylvania, skirting the Great Lakes and weaving through the forests of upstate New York. The journey will end in Boston, Massachusetts, a city that's steeped in some history and tradition, where the old world charm of the East Coast greets travelers as they complete their coast-to-coast adventure. Just make sure you park in Harvard Yard. The story of I-90 is a tale of evolution, a road that's grown and adapted over the decades. Much of the highway's path was carved out by state governments in the 1950s and 60s, long before the interstate system was even fully realized. Portions of I-90 in the Midwest and Northeast were originally state-built toll roads, like the Northwest Tollway, Chicago Skyway, Indiana Toll Road, Ohio Turnpike, New York State Thruway, and the Mass Turnpike. These roads were later incorporated into the I-90 route, and sometimes it was requiring upgrades to meet interstate standards, though some sections were considered good enough as they were. Number 14, the Grand Army of the Republic Highway. U.S. Route number 6, known as the Grand Army of the Republic Highway, is one of the oldest and most storied routes in the United States numbered highway system. Spanning from the small town of Bishop, California, to the coastal tip of Provincetown, Massachusetts, US 6 stretches across 14 states, offering a diverse cross-section of American geography and history. Originally designated in 1926, it's undergone significant modifications since the inception. It was initially much shorter, but it was extended several times during the 1930s, and by 1936 US 6 reached its largest length, beginning in Long Beach, California and running all the way to Provincetown, a total distance of approximately 3,652 miles. During this period, US 6 held the title of the longest highway in the US, a distinction it maintained until 1964. The name Grand Army of the Republic Highway was adopted in 1953 to honor the Union veterans of the American Civil War. It was a fraternal organization composed of veterans who served in the Union Army, and naming the highway after this group was a tribute to their service. Today, US 6 offers a stark contrast between the towering mountains and the deep desert canyons, showing off the rugged beauty of the American West and the East. Number 13, BR-101. BR-101 is one of Brazil's most important highways, stretching from the northern city of Touros to São José and Norte in the south. Spanning approximately 3,000 miles, BR-101 traverses the length of Brazil, passing through 12 states and hugging much of the country's eastern coastline. It is a key component of Brazil's infrastructure, linking major urban centers, rural areas, and economic hubs across the country. BR-101 begins in the coastal town of Touros, located in the state of Rio Grande do Norte, ultimately ending in São José do Norte near the southern tip of Brazil. Along its route, BR-101 serves as a lifeline for the coastal regions, connecting cities and towns to the rest of Brazil while promoting trade and commerce. The highway also forms a part of the larger Pan-American Highway. That's an ambitious network of roads stretching across the Americas, making BR-101 a critical link in that system. Despite its significance, not all sections of the highway were completed, particularly in areas where environmental preservation took precedence. For example, certain segments remain unconstructed to protect the delicate Atlantic forest ecosystem. But one of the most iconic features of BR-101 is the Rio Niterói Bridge, which spans Guanabara Bay in Rio de Janeiro. This bridge, the longest pre-stressed concrete bridge in the southern hemisphere, is a crucial part of the highway, linking the cities of Rio de Janeiro and Niterói. It was completed in 1974. This bridge stretches nearly 8.3 miles, and it remains a significant leg of the road today. Number 12. The Golden Quadrilateral. The Golden Quadrilateral is one of India's most significant projects, designed to connect the country's four major metropolitan cities, Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, and Kolkata, through an extensive network of highways. Spanning 3,633 miles, the GQ forms a quadrilateral that links the north, south, east, and west corners of India, creating a vital framework for national transportation. It was completed in 2011, and this highway network is one of the longest in the world and serves as a critical backbone for India's economy. It was launched in 2001 under the National Highways Development Project. It was the first phase of a broader national plan to modernize and expand India's road infrastructure. The four legs of the quadrilateral cover the capital city Delhi in the north, Mumbai in the west, Chennai in the south, and Kolkata in the east, forming a near-perfect quadrilateral. It links not only the four urban centers, but also a number of smaller towns and cities along the way. These smaller cities, which once struggled with limited access to major markets, now enjoy faster, more reliable connections, benefiting from reduced transportation times and enhanced economic integration. The project was conceived in 1999 and it was officially launched in 2001 with an estimated completion date of 2006. However, various delays, primarily due to land acquisition issues and contractor disputes, pushed that project's completion to January of 2012. Well, despite these challenges, the GQ was completed under budget, with the total cost coming in at $3.7 billion, significantly lower than the initial estimate of $7.2 billion set in 1999. Number 11. Highway 10. Highway 10 in Saudi Arabia holds the title of being the longest straight road in the world, recognized by Guinness World Records. Spanning 159 miles without a single bend, curve, or notable gradient, it surpasses Australia's Erie Highway, which previously held the record. This unbroken asphalt stretch runs through the vast Rub al Khali Desert, known as the Empty Quarter. This road offers a surreal driving experience, an endless straight line across the desert landscape into the deep horizon. Highway 10 extends from the city of Harad, a hub for oil and gas reserves in eastern Saudi Arabia, to Al Batha, near to the border with the United Arab Emirates. Originally, it was constructed as a private road for King Fahd. The highway now forms a vital link for transporting goods between Saudi Arabia and the UAE, playing a critical role in the nation's logistics. Cutting through the Rub al Khali Desert, the highway is fully paved and primarily serves as a commercial route. Despite its seeming simplicity, it does require a significant degree of caution from drivers, as the barren desert presents unexpected hazards, such as wandering camels and occasionally kangaroos. It's said that driving on Highway 10 offers an unmatched experience, a 2-hour journey across one of the most remote and barren landscapes on the planet. With no turns or inclines, it represents the pinnacle of straight road engineering. The monotony of the terrain adds to the road's mystery, creating a sensation of traveling through an almost otherworldly environment. Number 10. Asian Highway 1. Asian Highway 1, or just AH1, stands as the longest route in the Asian Highway network, stretching a staggering 12,774 miles from Tokyo, Japan to the Turkey-Bulgaria border. This colossal project connects multiple countries across East and Southeast Asia, South Asia, and the Middle East before seamlessly joining European Route E80, which extends all the way to Lisbon, Portugal. AH1 is just one part of the broader Asian Highway network, a monumental initiative that spans over 32 countries. This network is divided into numerous routes, numbered AH1 to AH87, with single-digit roads like AH1 connecting the multiple sub-regions. It begins in Tokyo, Japan, before heading westward through South Korea and into China. From there, it meanders through Southeast Asia, passing through Thailand, Myanmar, and Bangladesh, and continues on through India, Pakistan, and Iran. The road ultimately reaches Turkey, where it links to the European road network at the Turkey-Bulgaria border. With its grand expanse, driving it would take a minimum of 8 to 10 days, assuming non-stop travel at legal speed limits. However, a more reasonable journey would take weeks, allowing for rest and the opportunity to explore the many countries and cultures along the way. By 2004, 23 countries had signed the Intergovernmental Agreement on the Asian Highway Network, and today, 32 countries are involved in this massive undertaking, contributing to an interconnected road system that spans over 87,000 miles. Number 9. National Highway 318. China National Highway 318, often called the Shanghai-Tibet Highway, is one of the longest and most iconic roads in China. Spanning 3,403 miles, it runs from the bustling city of Shanghai on China's eastern coast, all the way to the Nepal border, making it the longest national highway in China. This route crosses a vast range of landscapes, from the flat eastern plains to the towering heights of the Tibetan Plateau. It is known as a bucket list drive. G318 draws adventurers eager to experience China's rich diversity and natural wonders. This amazing road connects major cities like Wuhan and Chengdu before entering the isolated and rugged Tibetan region, where it's known for its dramatic switchbacks, high-altitude passes, and jaw-dropping views of the Himalayas. A non-stop drive from Shanghai to the Nepalese border would take around 10 to 14 days, depending on the road conditions and altitude changes. But one of the most renowned sections is the Sichuan-Tibet Highway, which starts in Chengdu and stretches over 2,000 miles to Lhasa. The construction of it began in the 1950s, part of a broader national effort to connect China's interior with its frontier regions. The section from Sichuan to Tibet was particularly challenging due to the rugged terrain here, with numerous mountain ranges and rivers to cross. Today, the G318 remains one of the most vital arteries for Tibet's economy, as well as a critical route for tourists venturing into that region. It takes you from sea level in Shanghai to over 16,000 feet as you cross the Tenggula Pass, one of the highest motorable roads in the world. Number 8. The Koli Ice Road. In the heart of eastern Finland, where the winters are harsh and the landscape is dominated by frozen lakes, lies a remarkable stretch of road unlike any other, the Koli Ice Road. It connects the small villages of Koli and Vuonoslahti, and it stands as the longest inland ice road in Europe. This 4.3-mile frozen highway offers a unique and thrilling driving experience, cutting a significant 37 miles off the usual driving distance between the two towns. For locals, the Koli Ice Road is more than just a scenic route across a frozen lake. It is a vital link that becomes an interesting stretch of road during the winter months. The ice road is a brief yet exhilarating drive that takes just 10 to 15 minutes under normal conditions. Now, despite the road's brevity, drivers must remain vigilant, as the speed limit here is strictly set at 31 miles an hour to protect the ice from cracking. In peak conditions, over 500 cars can be seen traveling the frozen surface daily, and authorities can open up the ice road once the ice has reached a minimum thickness of 16 inches, ensuring it can bear the weight of vehicles. Yet driving on this icy expanse is both creepy and kind of fascinating, knowing that beneath that sturdy layer lies deep icy water. At the start, 5 centimeters of ice is enough to support a single walker. However, a fully operational ice road must be able to support cars and trucks, which requires the ice to be at least 40 centimeters thick. But once the ice starts to thin in the warmer months, the road is promptly closed to prevent any accidents. Strict regulations ensure the safety of all drivers. Cars have to maintain a minimum distance of 160 feet between one another to avoid stressing the ice too much in one spot. Overtaking is prohibited, and stopping on the ice road is also forbidden to minimize the risk of cracks forming under stationary vehicles. There's also a weight limit of 3 tons, though this may be raised in exceptionally thick ice conditions. Moving on to number 7, National Highway 219. Stretching across some of the most remote and inhospitable terrain on Earth, China National Highway 219, or G219 to its friends, is known as one of the longest roads in the world. This highway spans an amazing 6,214 miles, running from the Uyghur Autonomous Region all the way to Dunxing and the Guangxizang Autonomous Region. G219 not only connects the farthest corners of China, but it also offers a journey through some of the most extreme landscapes on the planet. Starting in the far northwest of China near the Kazakhstan border and ending near Vietnam in the far south, the G219 crosses a huge range of environments, from frozen plateaus to arid deserts. But what sets this road apart, however, is the sheer altitude and isolation it demands of its travelers. The road is often referred to as the Sky Road because of the dizzying heights it reaches. At its highest point, the road tops out at 17,696 feet above sea level, one of the highest motorable roads in the world. Driving along it is no ordinary trip. Gale force winds howl across the Tibetan Plateau, the sun beats down relentlessly during the day, and at night temperatures can plunge to 13 degrees below zero or lower. The terrain here is unforgiving, with freezing dry air, sunburn-inducing UV rays, and stretches of road where not a single soul is visible for miles. The journey is a continuous battle with the elements. High-altitude passes, like a 16,000-foot one, will push both machines and humans to their limit. This road will pass through the vast, empty landscapes of Tibet too, where nomads herd yaks and two-humped camels. In the Domar Township, a small outpost of concrete blocks and nomad tents, the road cuts right through some of the bleakest and most remote areas on Earth. Number 6. The Great Northern Highway. The Great Northern Highway stands as Australia's longest highway, stretching nearly 2,000 miles from Perth, the capital of Western Australia, to Wyndham, its northernmost port. Spanning vast and varied landscapes, it connects key regions across the states, providing crucial access to remote areas and facilitating economic activities. Now, the highway was developed from existing roads and tracks that were traversing the wheat belt and extended into the more remote pastoral areas of Western Australia. Early routes were pretty rudimentary, often consisting of dust-prone tracks in the dry season and boggy paths during the wet season. Initial efforts to improve the highway faced some challenges. The federal government's beef road schemes in the 1960s brought some upgrades, particularly in the Kimberley region. The goal here was to enhance the road quality to better support some economic activities such as cattle transport, which was critical to the region's economy. A significant milestone came on December 16, 1989, when the final section of the sealed road from Perth to Wyndham was officially opened. This event marked a major achievement in the development of Western Australia's road network, though many older sections of the highway were already in poor condition and in need of further upgrades. The name Great Northern Highway was proposed in 1940 and officially recognized on March 10, 1944. The name was chosen to align with other major highways in Western Australia, such as the Great Eastern and Great Southern Highways. Despite some initial resistance, the name was approved with the understanding that the highway would extend far beyond Geraldton, reaching as far north as Wyndham. Despite significant advancements, though, the Great Northern Highway continues to face challenges due to its length and the diverse environments it goes over. Seasonal weather conditions, particularly heavy rains, can still impact the road conditions, and the highway's ongoing maintenance and upgrades are crucial to ensure it can meet the demands of modern transport and continue supporting Western Australia's economic activities. Number 5. Trans-Canada Highway. Spanning 4,860 miles, the Trans-Canada Highway is one of the longest national highways in the world, connecting the Pacific Coast in Victoria, British Columbia, to the Atlantic Coast in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. This road cuts right through Canada's vast and varied landscapes. It serves as a lifeline for the country, not only linking distant regions, but also playing a vital role in Canada's economic connectivity. For anyone looking to explore the entirety of Canada by road, the Trans-Canada Highway is the ultimate route to choose. In the early 20th century, travel across Canada wasn't for the faint of heart. Outside of major cities, the road infrastructure was underdeveloped, and people relied on rivers, railways, and trails to move between towns and provinces. However, with the rise of the automobile, it created a growing demand for better roads that could accommodate faster and longer distance travel. The idea for a national highway began to gain momentum in 1912, when the Canadian Highway Association pushed for a road system. It wasn't until 1919 when the Canadian Highway Act was passed and that the dream of a national road began to take shape. However, the federal government's role was pretty limited to funding and setting road standards, as road construction fell under provincial responsibility. The Great Depression of the 1930s did provide further impetus, with the federal government investing heavily in highway projects to stimulate the economy. The Trans-Canada Highway, as it exists today, is a series of interconnected roads that span 7,950 miles of paved roadway across the country. The main route, at 4,700 miles, runs through the heart of Canada, passing through major cities such as Vancouver, Calgary, Winnipeg, Toronto, and Montreal. While the highway has long been a critical part of their infrastructure, its development has been an ongoing process. When the road first opened, it was a two-lane highway for nearly its entire length, though it was a vast improvement over the gravel roads and ferry crossings it replaced. Provinces began widening the highway, adding freeway sections and creating bypasses around congested areas. In recent years, the highway's also become an important route for electric vehicle travel. In 2012, a private company, Sun Country Highway, installed a series of electric vehicle charging stations along the main route, making the Trans-Canada Highway the world's longest electric vehicle-ready highway. Number 4. The Trans-Siberian Highway. The Trans-Siberian Highway. It is an extraordinary network of federal highways that spans the vast width of Russia, stretching from St. Petersburg in the west to Vladivostok in the east. At approximately 6,800 miles, it is one of the longest and most challenging roads in the world. traveling over a rugged landscape that includes dense forests, formidable mountains, and frozen tundra. The first sections of the road were built by Gulag inmates as early as 1949, forming a link in the Russian Far East. This stretch of road was part of a larger effort to connect Russia's far-flung territories and facilitate easier transport of goods and people across a landmass known for its brutal winters. In 2010, after years of reconstruction and modernization efforts, the Amur Highway was finally completed and paved, marking a major milestone in Russia's infrastructure development. The Trans-Siberian Highway isn't just a road, but a symbol of Russia's ambition to connect its sprawling territory, much like the Trans-Siberian Railway, which revolutionized transportation in the region. By providing a continuous road from Europe to the Pacific, it enhances Russia's economic integration with East Asia and its position as a transcontinental transport hub. Additionally, the highway is part of the Asian Highway Network, a transnational project designed to connect countries across Asia via a comprehensive road system. Large sections still run through remote and sparsely populated areas, though, where extreme weather, particularly during Siberia's winters, can make travel pretty difficult. Snow and ice, high winds, they're really common here, and travelers often need to be well prepared for sudden changes in those conditions. The Rasputsita season, which happens in spring and autumn, continues to cause disruptions in regions. This is a season of heavy rain and melting snow, and it turns dirt roads into thick mud, making some stretches of the highway nearly impassable. Although much of the road has been upgraded to withstand those conditions, it still is a formidable route that demands your caution and preparedness. Number 3. Ruta 40. Stretching nearly 3,230 miles, Argentina's Ruta 40 is one of the longest and most iconic highways in the world. Running parallel to the mighty Andes Mountains, this takes travelers on a journey through some of the country's most breathtaking landscapes. Whether you're looking to experience the beauty of Patagonia, the rich history of northern Argentina, or the vibrant life along the way, Ruta 40 offers what is said to be an unforgettable adventure. It begins in a small town near the Bolivian border and traces the Andean spine down to the windswept plains of Patagonia. While the entire route is an epic drive, the most famous stretch is the 840-mile section through southern Patagonia. This section of the road is known for its isolation and its natural beauty, passing through national parks, shimmering lakes, and the vast Patagonian steppe. Ruta 40 is at its most remote as it crosses the provinces of Chubut and Santa Cruz, where the road seems to vanish into the endless horizon. This is a land of wide-open space, fierce winds, and the occasional sighting of guanacos or Andean condors. Yet this remoteness is part of the fun. It's here in the heart of Patagonia where the road reveals some of the most stunning natural wonders in the world. El Chalten, Argentina's trekking capital, is a highlight, offering unrivaled access to the jagged peaks of Mount Fitzroy and the surrounding glaciers. Further south, the massive Perito Moreno Glacier is one of the few advancing glaciers in the world, drawing visitors from across the world to witness its beauty. Ruta 40 is much more than a scenic drive. It's a road that cuts through Argentina's history. The highway passes through 20 national parks, 18 major rivers, and crosses 27 mountain passes in the Andes, with the highest point reaching over 16,000 feet. The diversity of landscapes here is unmatched, from the ancient forests in Patagonia to the volcanic lava fields and salt flats in the north. Number 2. Highway 1. Australia's Highway 1. It's a colossal feat of engineering and ambition, and it stands as the longest national highway in the world. Stretching approximately 9,000 miles, this road encircles the Australian continent, linking all mainland capital cities except Canberra. A journey along Highway 1 offers a sweeping panorama of Australia's landscapes, from bustling cities and scenic coastal drives to remote outback adventures. Highway 1 begins in Sydney, New South Wales, and travels through every state and territory, ending in Perth, Western Australia. The journey takes you through nearly all the major cities and significant landmarks, offering a comprehensive cross-section of Australia's natural beauty and cultural diversity. It was originally part of the National Route Numbering System introduced in 1955. Highway 1 was constructed from a network of existing state and local roads. It's not only the longest, but also one of the most varied highways, featuring multi-lane freeways, sealed two-lane roads, and single-lane tracks through remote areas. A journey along Highway 1 can take about 2 to 3 weeks of continuous driving without significant stops. However, to truly really experience its wonders, you have to take several months, making detours to explore the array of attractions along the route. There's the Great Ocean Road in Victoria, Kangaroo Island in the south, Kakadu National Park in the Northern Territory, and even the Great Barrier Reef of Queensland. On June 18, 2017, the Highway 1 to Hell team set a record for the fastest lap of Australia Highway 1, completing the route in just 5 days, 13 hours, and 43 minutes. This achievement highlighted the road's significance and the endurance required to travel its entire length. Highway 1 is not without its challenges. Parts of the highway, especially in northern Queensland and the Nullarbor Plain, are notorious for driver fatigue and isolation. Yet these are the very challenges that add to the allure of the journey, offering a true test of your mettle and mileage. Number 1. The Pan American Highway. The Pan American Highway, spanning approximately 19,000 miles, holds the title of the world's longest motorable road. This ambitious network of highways connects the Americas from its northern start in Dead Horse, Alaska, all the way south to the southernmost reaches of Argentina. It weaves through landscapes and climates, linking most Pacific areas in North and South America, though it famously leaves a gap between Colombia and Panama known as the Darien Gap. The concept of transcontinental routes across the Americas first emerged at the First International Conference of American States in 1889, where a continent-spanning railway was proposed. However, it wasn't until the Fifth International Conference in Chile in 1923 that the idea of the Pan American Highway began to gain serious momentum. This vision was further solidified at the Sixth Conference in Cuba in 1928, where the proposal to connect Mexico to Buenos Aires received enthusiastic support. Despite the United States' significant financial contribution to the project, the country doesn't officially host a segment of the Pan American Highway. The highway's northern stretch begins in the terrain of Dead Horse, Alaska. From here, travelers take to the Dalton Highway. That's a challenging route constructed in 1974 to support the Trans-Alaska pipeline system. That one's known for its treacherous conditions, including a 240-mile stretch without services. The Dalton Highway was featured on the BBC's World's Most Dangerous Roads. This highway transitions into the Alaska Highway, a wartime construction project started in 1942 to connect Alaska with the contiguous states. It was originally spanning around 1,620 miles and has since been shortened and fully paved, ending at Dawson Creek, British Columbia. From Dawson Creek, the route splits into multiple paths through Canada and the United States. One route travels through Minneapolis, Dallas, and the Mexican border at Laredo, Texas. In Mexico, the Pan American Highway officially starts in Nuevo Laredo. It continues southward via Mexican Federal Highways 45 and 190, passing through major cities such as Mexico City before crossing into Central America. That segment of the highway travels through Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama. The Darien Gap, a 60-mile stretch of impassable terrain, interrupts the continuity of the route, creating a challenging barrier between Panama and Colombia. Interestingly, in 2003, Kevin Sanders set a Guinness World Record for the fastest traversal of the highway by motorcycle, completing the journey in 34 days. In 2018, British cyclist Dean Stott, who rode from south to north in just under 100 days. However, Stott's achievement was soon eclipsed by Austrian endurance cyclist Michael Strasser, who completed the journey in an impressive 84 days, 11 hours, and 50 minutes. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time. Thank you to our channel members.